Hello and welcome everybody to this month's webinar brought to you by Gaming Corps and Afterverse, where we are going to be talking about understanding the power of game selections and what all iGaming affiliate managers should know. Now that sounds like a little bit of a mouthful, but we'll get into the nitty gritty of it. And joining me today is speaker Connor Blundman, but we'll hear from him in just a minute. Before we get into the webinar, can I just get you guys, if you're joining us on either YouTube or LinkedIn Live, can you just give me a thumbs up? Can you give me a wave just so we know that the stream is working? We are about 60 seconds ahead of you guys. So if you're hearing me and you're seeing me, can you give us a wave and a hi? And I'll just quickly check that the streams are all good and everybody can hear us. And then we will kind of kick off because we've started just a minute or two early. So if you're joining us, welcome. It's great to have you here on this webinar. We're going to be going really deep into the psychology behind games and what kinds of games can actually influence your affiliate program. And you'll notice that I'm with a guest today, so we'll find out a little bit more about our guest in a minute. So we'll just keep him up on the screen and give everybody a wave, and then we'll get started. So if you're hearing us and seeing us, please give us a thumbs up, a hello. You know that I love having audience interaction when I come onto these webinars, and we really do want this to be of value to you. We're asking you to give us 45 minutes of your time, or around about 40 minutes of your time, to talk through this very, I think, cool topic, because it's not something that we talk about very often, but it's all about the incrementality of how we can grow affiliate programs in the iGaming space by leveraging the content that we're going to be using, and we're going to go a little bit deep into that in a minute. But we are live streaming this on YouTube, and we are live streaming through LinkedIn. So whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, I would recommend that you go over to our YouTube channel, because I will be able to actually engage with you in the chat there on YouTube as we're walking through the webinar, and you may have some questions for Connor as well. So if you want to ask questions, we absolutely love it. We want to hear from everybody that's coming into our community and really just talk about the challenges and make this 45 minutes exceptionally useful for you. So while we're getting everybody on board and getting everybody live and into these two different channels that we're live streaming on, I'll just go through a little bit of housekeeping, because we are live, and sometimes things break, sometimes streams stop. If you lose us, or things look strange, or your sound freezes up, or anything happens in your browser, replays of this webinar will be hosted on afterversemedia.com if you do end up missing out on it. But also just try and refresh your browser screen. Shut down any of the other screens that you have on your laptop or your desktop, and then try and join us again on the links on either YouTube or LinkedIn Live. I do want to do a little shout out to everybody that's joining us and say, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. We want you to not miss any of these cool webinars that we share each month. You can follow us on LinkedIn, both myself and Connor, and we'll give you Connor's email later on too. So you might get a stream of emails after this, Connor, with lots and lots of questions, which hopefully is something that you're looking forward to. But also, you will not miss out on any of the free tips, advice, or anything else that we share through either our YouTube or LinkedIn channels. So come and join us, come and be part of this session for the next 40 minutes. Ask lots of questions, because that's what we're here for. I've already prepped Connor for the fact that sometimes we get some chatty Cathys on these webinars, but he's happy to stay on and answer any questions that you have as well. And let's kind of get started. So I want to say welcome to you, goal seekers. You are obviously here and have signed up for this webinar for a reason. You are looking to grow your iGaming affiliate program. You've probably been set really big goals this year. You probably want to level up your affiliate program performance with strategies that maybe nobody else is using. And my friends, you have come to the right place, because if you are a goal digger, I am telling you that this is something that is going to help you to actually elevate your program. It's going to help you understand how to leverage content for both your affiliates and also for your end customer, the audience that's actually playing on your casinos or sports or casino sites. And we're going to be talking about how you can leverage your game selections to position your affiliate promotions and gain incremental uplift in revenue to meet your targets. Now, we all know affiliate managers are probably the most target-driven digital marketers in the world. Every month, we have to meet new targets, meet new goals, find new partners, and get more traffic. And Connor is going to help us to understand exactly how we can use the margins of incrementality around the content that games provides us in our affiliate programs to actually help us to do that. So I'm certainly excited by this. If you're joining us, give us a wave, give us a thumbs up, say hello on YouTube or LinkedIn, and I will check the content just to make sure that you guys are with us. Thank you, Jonathan. I've seen your comment there. You've told us that we're looking and working fine, so appreciate that. Let's crack on with introducing Connor and also asking you a little bit about you. So if you are joining us, tell us a little bit about what kind of company you're working with, what your biggest challenges are right now in the casino industry. Pop your name and your company name in the chat, and we'll try and get to all of the questions when we run through the content that we're working on. And then just if you are joining us a little bit later into the stream, because we are a little bit ahead of you, give us a thumbs up and say hi, because we do want to know who we are live streaming to, and it's just great to have some interaction with you. I will, for those of you who don't know me yet, and maybe there are some newbies on the webinar circuit today, I am Leanne Johnston. It's very nice to meet you. I'm the founder of Affiverse. Affiverse Media is our website. I've been in affiliate marketing for more than 2 decades. I have run multiple different affiliate programs all around the world. I have been quoted in places like Forbes, The Drum, IGB Affiliate, GPWA on multiple occasions. I'm a little bit of a thought leader in terms of what's happening in affiliate and performance marketing, mainly because I've been there since the beginning. So I kind of know the history of where we've come from in affiliate marketing, and I can sort of future-proof and have a look at what's happening in the future. I've also got a really cool affiliate marketing podcast. So if you've never listened to that, please do come in and subscribe to our podcast channel, because we do have loads of interesting people that come on the podcast, just like Connor. And we talk about lots of different aspects of affiliate marketing as well. And today is going to be no different. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me, please do LinkedIn with me on LinkedIn. Drop me an email. I'm very, very approachable. But what we do here at Affiverse, just to give you a little bit of a background as to what we do, is we help you at every single stage of your affiliate marketing life cycle. So whether you are starting out and learning about affiliate marketing and you want to understand what is this affiliate and performance marketing channel all about, you can come and read all of our news. You can come to our webinars like we're doing today. They're all free to access. Nothing's behind a paywall. And you can just really listen and find out about what's happening and what's relevant in our industry. We also are an affiliate marketing agency. So we will be able to help you run your affiliate program, set it up, migrate it, ensure that it's ready for scale, and actually manage all of your affiliate partnerships. And then we also run our own affiliate management training course and in-person events as well as virtual events to just help our community around us understand what's changing in this channel, because it does change very fast. It is very competitive, and that's exactly why we've brought Connor on to talk about how you can actually leverage some of these marginal things that are within your grasp and within your reach, but maybe you don't think about to help grow your affiliate program. So finally, after me giving you the spiel of the housekeeping and everything else that's going to be happening on this webinar, I'd like to hand over for you to meet our lovely guest, Connor Blinman from Gaming Corps. Connor, it's a pleasure to have you on this webinar. Can you say hello to the audience finally after my diatribe, and just say a little bit about who you are, what you do at Gaming Corps, and then we'll get stuck into some of the content that you want to share with the guys today.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks for having me, Leanne. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this chat, and hopefully we can learn some things together, really.
Yeah.
So as you said, my name's Connor Blinman. I'm the head of games here at Gaming Corps. Gaming Corps is a studio, development studio, which produces an array of casino products ranging from slots and more traditional table sorts of content, all the way through to more modern Mines, Crash, and even our new Smash for Cash line of product as well. So
yeah,
we are a development studio with our fingers in lots of pies, and very exciting sort of development studio to be a part of.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so what if I told you guys, if you're tuning in, and maybe if you can give me a shout out, how many of you are affiliates and how many of you are affiliate program managers? It might be quite handy to see what the split is today. But what if I told you you could increase your iGaming affiliate program revenue with the games that you choose to promote? And that could be relevant for both the operator and the affiliate, because affiliates want to convert more customers. They want to give content out that's going to make sure that customers sign up and play. and the operator wants to make sure that they're giving affiliates the right content to actually get those customers into their platform to sign up and play. So a lot of what Connor's going to be talking about today is actually very relevant to both sides of the kind of like envelope, whether you're promoting the games or whether you're actually educating consumers on which games that they should be playing and that are going to derive a lot of revenue. So I guess where I wanted to start this with you, Connor, today is kind of starting at the very beginning. So let's start off with the why behind picking the right game genres for your affiliates to promote is actually going to impact the revenue that you can derive from these players. So take us to the beginning and talk to us a little bit about like why are games so important, what kinds of games are important, and why people coming to this webinar should actually take note of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So games are super important. They are essentially the crux of whether or not you meet your targets at the end of the day. From a low quality game to a high quality game, obviously there's a big difference, but also within like the actual genres of the games that you offer as well to your audience, it's completely different. Just if we look at these 8 tiles that you selected from our website, just out of coincidence, I think like there's 4 different types of games here. And in those 4 different types of games, there's 8 different types of games altogether. So really, it's super important for affiliates to essentially promote the right types of games. But in a world where there is so many casino products being offered, every month there's over 100 games going live. It's super important to know the differences so that you can kind of build your campaigns around promoting it to the right sort of demographic, essentially, at the end of the day. And it is quite good to have an understanding not only on a classic slot game, which has been the front runner in the industry for so many years now, decades almost, and looking at new genres of games as well, like your Crash and your Mines, which are up and coming. And those sorts of games are super important to understand and really part of a niche market that at least I feel like not a lot of affiliates and affiliate managers are actually building campaigns around yet. And their games are everywhere, but they're all completely different. And nowadays there's an even bigger diversity than there's ever been, really.
So take us through what is a traditional slot game and what are these other games that are slightly different that have higher payout methods? Like take us through the beginning in terms of why is the slot game so exciting and how has that evolution moved on to some of the games that you guys produce?
Yeah, cool. So basically the way I see it at least is that slot games have they've had their traditional roots for years from the classic fruit games, the 777 games, the Joker games. Everybody will be familiar with these and every casino will likely have them. And these are popular and they still are popular today. And at the end of the day, truth be told, those games still get a lot of playtime. A lot of the older demographic are playing those and they will keep coming back to those same games. But when we look at the new demographic of players coming through the ranks, with the 20, 30-year-olds who are just signing up to the casino for the first time, they've got a bit more extra disposable income. They might not be familiar with this history of classic slot games. So when we look at Crash and we look at Mines, they target definitely a different demographic, and they target them in ways that are more user-friendly to them. They players who want a bit more interaction, a bit more like a bit more strategy almost, and both Crash and Mines certainly offer that. But then you also have games like Plinko and also our latest Smash for Cash sort of game, where it's kind of like a slot game in its mentality and in its psychology, but it is much more modern. It's much more casual in a way compared to a slot. It's much more easy to understand. Some slots on the surface seem quite straightforward to us who've worked in the industry for so long, but to a new player, it might be quite bizarre to them how they match the lines and stuff like that. But games like Plinko, games like Smash for Cash are super straightforward. So again, yeah, like those sorts of games all target different players.
So you say Smash for Cash is straightforward, but like, what do you mean by straightforward? Is that just in terms of how you play and win, or?
Yeah, so it's quite literally. You press the button to bet, so it's the play button. You press the play button. It's not a spin button; it is just a play. It's even that alone. It sounds
It's
weird,
simple.
but
Yeah.
just writing the word play on the button compared to having a spin, we found that immediately teaches the player how to actually interact with the product. And then when you actually place your bet, the outcome of that bet is super straightforward. Either you smash the object and get cash, or you don't smash it and you don't get cash. There is more complexity in the features, and it is more interesting than just smashing and getting things for cash. But at the end of the day, it's much simpler than a slot game. When you've got a slot game and you see either 3 reels or 5 reels, pay lines coming along, you might not actually know how you won or why you won or why you lost even. And that sort of misunderstanding can certainly take players away from the site. They might be somewhere else. They might be like, oh, these games aren't for me. I don't understand it. I'm going away from it. But it's very important, I think, to nowadays at least, to have games that target players that are super straightforward, because the attention span of players is much lower than it ever used to be. With modern day media, it's quite telling in a sense. So yeah.
And you were talking about that as well, because consumers have their behavior in terms of how they want to access information on the internet has changed. Like, everybody wants everything instantly. They don't want to have a time where they can kind of play for free and then, like, I mean, I don't even think, do people even play for free anymore? Like, they want to get in, get on with it and go and have some fun. And they don't want to have any complicated, multiple lines, this line, that betting structure. And so I think simplifying games is probably making it easier for people to come in and actually have that user experience first time that gives them the thrill that they're seeking, which is kind of why they go and play games like this. So you mentioned Crash as well. Why do you think that game is so popular? Because it has had a really good run.
Yeah, so I think Crash games and our Crash games as well, it's all about building a community. And when you log into a casino site and you log in to play these Crash products and you see hundreds of players in the chat all talking about their wins or their losses, you kind of feel that sense of, all right, well, I'm not alone in this game. Yeah, I'm connecting to people who I wasn't previously connected to. Humans at the end of the day crave socializing, and that sort of aspect in the Crash games goes a long way. But also, I do think there is a different type of psychology behind the actual gambling aspect of the product, where you can kind of risk it all for the big multipliers, or you can cash out as low as you want. And that sort of control is so different to a slot game. It's almost like a blackjack table game where you kind of have a bit more control about whether you're going to hit or whether you're going to stand. That sort of psychology has always been in gambling products, some gambling products, and Crash games have just taken it to the next level a little bit with faster retention, more community. It's just much more engaging in the long run, I feel. And the younger players are much more engaged with this sort of product we see.
And that's a really good point, actually, because affiliate managers, they sort of still operate on a one-size-fits-all approach. I'm going to have one promotion, and I'm going to give that promotion out to 1,000 affiliates or 100 affiliates, and I'm going to hope for the best and see what comes back. But what affiliates are really wanting, and I think this is why understanding the different types of games and who they appeal to, is they're actually wanting content that's going to convert with niches that they're working in. So if their customer audience is 25 to 35, they probably want to have a tailored set of games that is going to be more engaging for that age bracket and the way that age bracket connects with the interweb. Whereas if they're my age, 45 and over, I'm still happy with the 3-line slot, and that's all good for me. So you probably want to get a little bit more strategic about the promotions that you put in place with your affiliates, and actually ask them more about not what offers work best, but also what content works best, because we tend to think, we tend to be price driven in the iGaming industry. It's like, what's my sign up offer? What's my commission? But we don't actually look at the things that also matter, which is like what content resonates with my audience? What experience does that audience want to have? And if they're only going to spend an hour a day on my website, like what options can I actually give them to make that the best hour of their day so that they keep coming back? So it's really interesting to me, some of the stuff that you've said here. But so I want to kind of split the conversation as well, because the why does differ for both sides of the coin. So we were talking about, the affiliate managers, they want to convert more players. They want their affiliates to be happy. They want to give their affiliates great content. But the affiliates, the why that affiliates need to care about the different games that they're promoting is purely based around conversion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, when you're trying to convert players, if you're not sending them the right products to try to convert that player, they're never going to convert. At the end of the day, I might be completely different to yourself, and I wouldn't convert maybe on the same games that you would convert on.
Yeah.
So it's super important to get that content right. And realistically, there definitely does need to be some trial and error, as well as doing what you know best, but obviously exploring these new game types and understanding, okay, why is that game so popular? At the end of the day, that game's so popular because there's an audience for it, and maybe those audience are some of your readers or some of the people that you're targeting for these campaigns. So yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation, definitely, that affiliates need to have with themselves about what sorts of games they want to promote in order for those people to convert.
But also there's the opportunity of, going really deep into the niches, because you can use the game content to actually find keywords and traffic sources that maybe aren't being targeted at the higher level in terms of the price and the offer and the kind of reward mechanism. So what makes your games different from every other games provider? Like, what is it that Gaming Corps does in the development of your games that is maybe different from some of the other suppliers in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So I think when we look at all the different suppliers and what they offer, everyone tries their hardest to create the best games and the highest quality games. So I could easily come and say our game's the highest quality. At the end of the day, I think everybody's going to try to say the same thing. What I feel like we have, which is very strong within our company and within our kind of history as a company, is our people who are building the games are essentially not gamblers, if that makes sense. We've got a lot of people who are actually from the gaming industry. And when we're trying to create a diverse portfolio, we want a sort of mindset that is looking at trying to convert real life gamers into gamblers. And those sorts of people who have come from that background are able to actually have that mindset of, right, well, what would convert myself, or what would convert my friends, my social circle that I'm a part of? Myself, I'm a gambler. I've come from slots background. I've worked in this industry for almost 8 years on slot games. But it's great to be a part of a company where there's that diversity in expertise to allow us to create a diverse portfolio. We're able to do multiple different types of games, releasing them on a monthly basis, which I don't think many other providers are actually offering. There might be a couple of others, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, you've either got the slot creators, or you've got the table game, you've got the live casino people, you've got people who make arcade games, whereas we've kind of got like a one-stop shop for all types of product. And when you are creating like your campaigns and your affiliate, you want to be the one-stop shop as an affiliate. At the end of the day, you want people to come to you because you're offering the slots, you're offering the arcade, you're offering Crash, Mines, Smash for Cash, you're offering it all. If you just offer products that appeal to that one certain demographic, then you're missing out on, I don't know, 70, 80% of the market potentially. And I feel like that essentially is kind of our USP in the market, just our diversity as a whole and our diversity and background as a company.
Well, that's quite a good stat that you've sent there. And what I want to say is that imagine if the 32,000 casinos that are online and operational are all going after the 30% of the target audience that everybody else is going after, and nobody's looking at the 70% of the marketplace that is differentiating, looking at different content, providing different types of experiences that resonate with the customer. Because we also get into that mindset when we're running our programs that we know what our customers and what our affiliates actually need and want. And we never actually stop to ask or stop to check or stop to sense check that what we're actually providing is what they need. And that's that. I think that's a really big takeaway for guys listening to this webinar today, is to actually just go and do some due diligence and actually look at the last maybe 6 offers or promotions that you ran in your program, and look at the games that were attached to those promotions. Because a normal promotion on an affiliate program in iGaming is always make a deposit on this game or that platform and do like 3 or 4 different wages. There's a lot of mechanics that go into the promotions, but maybe have a look at the last 2 or 3 promotions and have a look at the types of games that you actually featured around that promotion, and then look at the conversion rates that happened and try and start to test some of this stuff. Start to test simpler games with your affiliates once you know what their target demographic is, and then match the promo and match the target audience together, and then try and A/B test to see if a traditional slot game works better, like maybe a well-known brand, or if a new differentiated type slot game that offers different features and community works better. Because I think it would be great if anybody listening to this can actually come back on with a webinar with us and actually tell us what the uptake was. I'm pretty sure you've got a lot of data around all the different games, but I thought maybe we could get into the explaining of game theory and mechanics a little bit, because it does go hand in hand with the marketing side, because we know that what you're talking about today does actually impact, because you see the data across all of the operators, and the ones that use different games obviously generate different amounts of revenue. So without giving away data, which is obviously confidential, can you explain the game theory and mechanics, the how behind why we need to be looking at different games and how they impact revenue and uplift in your affiliate programs?
Yeah, definitely. So for me, game theory is really just all about the user journey, from clicking on the game tile all the way to getting your big win and hopefully cashing out, right? So
Yeah.
And within those stages, you've got plenty of, I guess, psychology moments that the player can resonate with or see from game to game. And it is actually quite similar, realistically, if we think about it from any product. At the end of the day, you click the game tile, you go into the product, you try to bet. Hopefully it's easy to find, and you manage to bet, and then you get a suspense build up of whether or not you're going to win. At the end of the day, that is the very simplistic psychology behind a gambling product, and at the end of the day, it works very, very well. And I love to gamble myself, and players love that experience of whether or not you're going to win big on the risk that you've just taken. When it comes to the different products, though, then we can break it down slightly further. Where let's take a crash game, for example. Every single time I bet on that game, I'm seeing a multiplier tick up.
Yeah.
And it's almost the endless, limitless potential that multiplier might just keep ticking up forever.
Yeah.
That game theory is very different to a slot game theory, where I press spin. As the reels start to land, within the first 2 reels have landed, I kind of have known whether or not I've won a lot of money or not. And so that's where kind of the game theory differs from game to game. And if we try to feel what converts high value players and what doesn't convert high value players, it's quite hard to actually determine if one of them does it better than the other. But I know for sure that both games have their positives and both games have their high rollers that we at least see. And it's if you're only offering one type, essentially you're only getting half of the players who might be the high roller at the end of the day. So the game theory at a high level, I feel, is different from game to game, but overall there's quite a lot of similarities when it comes to actually getting your wins and cashing out and getting the suspense, anticipation about those wins.
Is there any specific like games that work in specific regions? Because a lot of what we do in program management is actually regional. So you might have a brand that's, you know, big in the UK, and then they also do like Latin America, and they also do Asia, and they also do Europe. Are there any specific game types from the data that you have available that could help affiliate managers and affiliates to target their content and their promotions based on certain games that work better in different regions, maybe?
Yeah. So we see that like Crash, Mines games are super popular in LATAM.
Okay.
Crash games in particular, they the numbers we see with some of our big customers there show to us that Crash games are way more popular than a slot product. I think it's either to do with like that limitless potential of a Crash game compared to a slot game, or like the fact that players are slightly of a lower bankroll, so it's more about the sheer amount of players playing the game in one go, and that's why the community aspect is super important. Slots are very solo experience, and unless you're really a high roller, there's not much of a chance to win big on them sometimes. And when we look at Europe's slots tables through and through, we have seen big growth in the likes of Belgium with our Penalty Champion product, which is a Mines game, which is football themed, and that game in itself feels a bit like a strategy game as well, and you're trying to beat the goalkeeper to score goals and open up these tiles to win more money. And that sort of game we see getting bigger in Europe. But we have to remember that these types of products are being sold as well to like casino managers and the likes who see the numbers in their slots. At the end of the day, slots have been the dominant force for the last 10, 20 years, which means at the end of the day, it's quite hard to get a foot in. But once you get a foot in and you start getting people promoting it and driving their customers towards it, you start seeing retention and higher bet values that are beyond the slots products, in my opinion.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because I mean, I have been in the gaming industry for 20 years, and I do know that slots have always been the most important thing, but table games are just as profitable in terms of lifetime longevity. But there's always a focus on slots because it's the next big game, the next big piece of content. I think slots are more, you know, you said there was 100 different slot games being launched every month. Like, how do you know which one to promote? And I think that's probably also a problem on the affiliate side, is which one do I go all in on? I can only write so much content and I can only get so much information. Which one is going to be the big one? So I think a lot of what you've shared here today for affiliates listening in is, you know, really get to the roots of who your customer is, and then try and A/B test whether a Crash game or a slots mechanic game is actually going to be the better one for you, because it could be the difference of you earning revenue and you're not earning revenue, you know, or you converting a customer and not converting a customer. And the interesting thing as well that you said there, which also makes me think why European behaviors are changing, is if you look at the likes of like Shein and Temu and really big e-commerce brands, they're all putting wheels of fortune onto their shopping platforms to actually get customers to engage, and that same mindset that you said, oh, you're going to watch the line go up and up and up until you can break, is the same mindset that they're tapping into for shopping online. And so therefore it makes me think like, okay, the psychology actually works, because even in, you know, it's the same kind of mentality. You're waiting for something big to happen, and that's the thrill of it, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how the games industry converges with other like channels as well, and how the methodologies that you've spoken about today actually transitions into other industries, which it already is, as far as I can tell.
So psychology, like there's I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but there's a big psychology about, like, I don't know if you ever heard about Skinner's box.
No.
Skinner's box, but basically he is like a psychologist who did experiments, and he essentially had like a pigeon in a box, and that pigeon would press a button, and that pigeon would get a treat, a food, whenever they would press the button. And he found that pigeons who got a treat whenever they would press the button became quite bored of it quite quickly. They'd know they would get food. Then he experimented with that button press. So like every third button press, the pigeon would get food. It started to figure it out eventually. He realized the pigeon that would press the button and get food randomly was very addicted
The
to
most engaged one.
yeah, and would constantly press it. So it's kind of like that psychology and that theory goes across a lot of gambling products, and that is essentially how we can convert.
Well, not
the
only
high
over
value
gambling products, but also over the marketing strategy. Because if you give the same promos out to your affiliates, they're going to get bored and they're not going to promote it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you give the same promotions to your customers, they're going to get bored and they're not going to do it anymore. So I think shaking up the livers a little bit and actually using this as an incrementality project in your program to see if you can incrementally increase your program revenue just by changing the types of games that you put in front of your affiliates is great. The biggest question that I'm going to get asked now before we move on to the next segment of this webinar, and I am conscious of time, is how do affiliates actually get access to all of this information? Like, because if they love the game and they want to, write content about it, they need to have all of the mechanics and the kind of data behind supporting to create the content to support the game. So if they want to promote these games, how do they actually get all that information, Connor?
Yeah, so we've got like our own client zone, we call it.
Okay.
And if you go onto our website, you can get access to our client zone. You might need to sign up, or maybe you already have an account. But if you go to our client zone, you're able to get all the information on the product itself. So there'll be a list of the games, and within that game, you can click and find all the assets. So that's like logos, banners for your website. That'll all be there. But then there's also game sheets. And that game sheet will give you all the information you need to write a blog or an email post or whatever it is to about that product. And it's got like data on the game type and like the hit rates and the RTP and all of this important information that you'll need.
So affiliate managers can tap into that too. Once they've got the games on their platform, they can actually, make those assets available to their affiliates so that they can create the content that they need. Okay, so we've spoken about the why. We've spoken about the how, so the different kind of psychology behind the different games and why it's important to actually change that up. So now I want to kind of like talk a little bit about the who. So this is all about the deal making. So we've understood that game types can impact player behavior. So why is this important for affiliates? Why is this important for affiliate managers? I mean, the obvious answer is revenue, but I think it gets a little bit deeper than that because it's also about creating a competitive edge.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. It's all about being different from everybody else. And at the end of the day, if we look at what products are currently being offered to the market, if we do see that 90% of them are slot products, but not 90% of the revenue is slot products, then there's definitely an opportunity to be diverse in what you're offering. And I think that's why it's super important to have the different types of game types, but also the right types of games and targeting the different people to make sure that you are essentially targeting the right people with the right things at the end of the day, like we've said a couple of times.
Right things, right content, right time as well, and also with the right price point. And I think it kind of goes back to the basics of marketing, the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion, and leveraging the game content within that in terms of the P for product, I think is very important for affiliate managers to take away. But for affiliates, I think it's also very important because they need to become more discerning. How do they actually choose between all of these slot games? Which ones do they put in front of their customers? Because they are the front line. They are the ones educating customers about the experience that they're going to be having with these games, all the different types of game types. And so I guess what I wanted to get out of this by bringing on this webinar is making affiliates actually ask for what they need as well. Because you can't rely on the operator to give you everything that you want to convert your customers. You kind of also need to be educating yourself on the different types of games that are out there and then asking the operators to actually bring you those products or those solutions.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think at the end of the day, there's only so much that you'd get out of it if you were only relying on the operator to tell you what to push and what to promote. At the end of the day, was that they are seeing data on their side. They're not seeing necessarily the data from providers like ourselves, who might be a bit smaller, but offer a wide diversity and can really see the true value of these different products that we're offering to the market that not many people are seeing. But once they once we do get it on a casino site, so they can actually have their players play it, they're realizing the true potential of that product.
Yeah.
And if affiliate managers, affiliate, whoever it might be on that side of the industry, looks into what is performing well from the provider side of things, they'll start to see that the diverse products side of things is making up a big portion of the industry revenue nowadays. And it's continuing to grow, and it will continue to grow over the next 5-10 years until that overtakes potentially slots, because younger players might not be falling in love with slots like the older players are. So as the demographic skews towards that older age, as the younger people get older, you'll start to see that these games grow more and more and more.
Yeah. And because a lot of affiliate managers, yeah, totally agree. A lot of affiliate managers, so sometimes when I talk to them, they're like, well, a game's a game is a game. But what we're actually trying to educate you on today is that is not the case. And being a little bit more discerning about which games you couple in with your promotions can actually be the difference of a promotion that wins or fails, basically, because you really do need to start to hyper personalize and match what you're offering to the consumer based on their age and demographic and even geolocation, as you've shared with us. But you also need to not be ignoring the people that might not fit into that category, and you need to have alternative offerings to offer them. So a diversified games portfolio is actually pretty important. It's a pretty important tool for an affiliate manager to bring into their arsenal. And maybe you want to go and talk to your kind of, casino managers and product developers and stuff to actually look at some of these games if you don't already have them in your catalog, if that's the right term.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you're like a small affiliate manager, like you can start to carve out a niche within this. And that's kind of like what we're doing in a way. If you look at a big player in the industry on our side, if they started to do the games that we're offering, then they might start to overtake us. So if you're a big affiliate or you're a big affiliate manager, if you start to offer more of these diverse products, then you're going to kind of be in a much better position to push them. So both sides of the coin, whether you're really big or really small, there's a big opportunity here for the products that aren't being pushed or promoted as much as the slot products to carve out this big niche and really start to make it your own. So yeah, very, very a big strong believer of this.
Well, you know what they say in marketing, to be successful in marketing, you either need to be first or you need to be the best.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that you're going to say you're both. So that's one of the reasons why, you should go and have a look at some of the games that are in the Gaming Corp's catalog. So, okay, we need to kind of like wrap up and recap, but essentially what we're saying here is create a new mindset for yourself and you'll get new results. Like, stop trying to do the same old promos that, with a different mechanic or a different game. It's almost like we get into the rinse and repeat cycle in marketing, which is terrible. It really is. But if we know something works, it's easier to rinse and repeat that strategy again and not really differentiate out of it. But what we're trying to say is 32,000 plus casinos in the world, a finite amount of affiliates to get, quality traffic from. How do you stand out from the crowd? And that really does impact creating a new mindset for yourself and for your promotion, your marketing team. So what are some of the top tips that you can give to small affiliate managers and also big brand affiliate managers to actually go and leverage this in their programs? Like, how would you recommend they begin? Is it, get the games integrated and then start to get your affiliates educated on the ones that are different to, the main back catalog? Like, how do you think they should approach it?
I think you're right. It's the education at the end of the day. And if somebody comes to you and they say you need to promote this product, you've never heard of it, you don't understand it, you don't get what a Crash game or Minds game is, then you're not going to believe in it at the end of the day. And that's it's only going to be a negative. So education all the way. We need to teach players about these games ourselves. That's what we're trying to do. We need to teach managers about it, but affiliates and affiliate managers need to teach their affiliates or their readers about these games, and they need to teach how to play them, how to win on them, why they're good. That's kind of the exact thing that they need to do. And if they don't, it will fall flat on its face at the end of the day. And you'll end up going back to a more traditional
Same old.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like you say, you can rinse and repeat that, but there's only so much that will grow until it reaches a peak, and if you don't diversify soon enough, it will end up falling. But yeah, like I do think that in order to have that competitive edge, you do in order to stand out, you do require that diversity, and you will need to start educating people towards that diversity. Otherwise, it will soon drop off essentially.
And the other thing is also, we think money talks in the gaming industry, and yes, it does to a certain degree. But also bringing new things to market that enable affiliates to differentiate themselves from their competitors is just as important as you differentiating your brand from the other competitors that you're competing against, because affiliates also have competitors in the niches that they're working in. There's only so many SEO traffic terms that you can be ranking for, and affiliates compete with all of those terms. So the brands that actually differentiate and bring better results for their affiliates are actually naturally also going to bring better affiliate loyalty into their kind of hemisphere. And with longevity of affiliate relationships, you tend to go deep, because this industry is still built very much around trust. Affiliates trust a brand, they trust an affiliate manager, they then go do business with those people. So if you are a forward-thinking affiliate manager and you think none of this stuff actually matters to you, it really, really does, because it does give you an additional leverage or tool in your arsenal that actually engages partners and gets them to start promoting your brand better. So it really is an important aspect that I think is very rarely spoken about. So I'm glad that you've come on this webinar with me today to actually explain some of the mechanics that go behind it and why it actually impacts. So let's just quickly recap, because we've already taken up 50 minutes of people's lives, but we've booked you for an hour. So I'm going to leverage it. Let's just quickly recap what kinds of games are currently working in what regions, why it's important to actually, couple your promotions with certain types of games, and then also a little bit about how user behavior is changing.
Yeah, so what we see is that these new types of content is growing in all markets and will continue to grow in all markets. But particularly at the moment, Crash Minds are very, very strong in the likes of LATAM. And we're also seeing, which I didn't mention earlier, but our Smash for Cash products did extremely good numbers across Europe, because it is kind of a bit more of a slot psychology at the end of the day. So we're definitely seeing growth in these areas, and I feel as if it will just continue to grow essentially. So I forgot your second question though, Leanne.
It's what I was saying is, so which markets are growing and which games are relevant to each market, and you've said LATAM is very much the Crash style games, the very simplistic games, the community-based games, and then Smash for Cash. Can you just explain that game, because I don't think we actually went in. I know what Crash is, but I'm just in case people don't know what Smash for Cash is.
Smash for Cash game is quite literally you'll get like an object in the middle of the screen, and then there'll be a hammer on top, and whenever you press the play button, the hammer will come down and try to smash the object. If it smashes it open, you'll win a prize. If it doesn't smash it open, you won't win a prize, but maybe the object will get cracks in it, so it'll look like you're getting closer towards breaking it open. So it's very quick, easy to understand. And it's also got like free spins features. So sometimes you'll open up the ball or the object, and that object will reveal free spins, and then you'll get like guaranteed smashes on the hammer. The hammer will smash down on the ball, guarantee smash opens, and guarantee winning. So it's got some slot player behavior psychology in there as well. And what's also really cool is you can see the upcoming balls behind you, upcoming objects, and those objects might have different values on them, and that kind of incentivizes the player to continue to play and continue to redeposit. And again, that's something which is super important because it's converting a customer at the end of the day. And so those games are growing in across Europe, seeing really good numbers in Sweden. Average spins per player well over 120 average spins per player on our Piggy Smash game, which we first released. And then we've got another one called Rampage, which very similar numbers, and the player always returns to it. So for us, that game will continue making those games over the course of the rest of the year and into next year as well. We see those games as what could be our like big winner in this industry at the moment. So
yeah. Okay, guys, so go check out those games because they might help you to actually build out and carve out a niche, as Connor said. And obviously, all of this is important for affiliates who want to convert and build niches for themselves and find new traffic sources that are relevant to these games. And it's relevant for affiliate managers who want to differentiate and also offer affiliates better promotions so that they can increase their program revenue. And that's really why we invited you onto this podcast today, to actually talk about, the psychology behind games. But the message that we wanted to give you guys, we summed it up into get into the detail and into the data, because that is how you are going to be able to grow your affiliate relationships, grow your revenues in your programs, and you can leverage games to do all of that. So I think that's a really nice way to kind of wrap up everything that Connor has shared with us today. And obviously, from my perspective, the best marketing doesn't feel like marketing at all. And this is something that you can leverage and that you can influence and that you can cherry pick when you are creating the promotions that you want to send out to your affiliates. So be a little bit more thoughtful about what you're putting out there, and really go deep into the data to discover what games could be better converting promotions and what games could actually keep your affiliates coming back for more, and differentiate your product catalog, because there's 32,000 plus casinos. I can't remember where I read that stat, but I did read it recently, and that's what stuck in my mind. But when you think about it, that's a heck of a lot of competition to actually go up against, where all of you have got similar products, similar games, similar looks and feels. So making it easy for the affiliate to actually gain the competitive edge and find areas that maybe nobody else is targeting, where they can, gather and create new traffic. And also for you, direct, it's not just the affiliate traffic that's being referred to you, but if you have these games on your website, you're actually going to pick up, natural SEO search traffic as well for your brand direct. So all of this makes sense to me. I mean, none of it is difficult, but it does require you to dig into the data, and it does require you to put a little bit of effort around thinking about the promotions that you're going to be creating and sending out going forward. So I want to thank you, Connor, for being on the podcast with us today. It's been, sorry, not the podcast, I don't know why I said that, the webinar today. And thank you to all of you that have joined us live. And if you had to nip off and crack on, we didn't have time for questions today, but if you have questions, you can actually email Connor direct, because sorry for you, I put your email in the presentation. You might get some direct emails coming in from this webinar, and obviously when we we share it out into our channels as well. But it has really been a pleasure to kind of get an understanding of how games can impact programs, and I will certainly be looking at this with my clients and hopefully educating and talking about affiliates too. Yeah, so it's you can reach Connor on LinkedIn as well. That's what he's just said, in case you didn't grab that, because you just dipped out there for a minute. But yeah, drop him an email and ask him about the games. I'm pretty sure he can share data and insights and stats with you on a personal level as well. But thank you, everybody that was here. I didn't get to have a look through questions, but if you do have questions, you can email them through to myself or Connor. It has been a pleasure to have you on this podcast. I do, before we go, want to just do a little bit of self-promotion here. If you are an affiliate manager and you're looking to grow your affiliate program, do sign up for our AMP course. It's a 12-week coaching program for affiliate managers. It's just 1 hour of your time each week, and you are supported with industry veterans that have been working in the affiliate industry for more than 2 decades. So go and check out our website, affiversemedia.com, hit the training button, and you'll find out all about our AMP program. And if you're looking to learn, which is what we do here at Affiverse, we make people learn about new things, new interesting things that aren't on your radar, do come and sign up for our Elevate Summit, which is happening in September, the 16th and 17th of September in London. It's an in-person event. There's going to be sponsorships, masterclasses, workshops, really intelligent people coming to talk, and the tickets are only £149 if you sign up before the end of May, and that includes lunch, 2 days worth of content, networking, and all the new business leads that your heart desires. Come and join us. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be talking about where lead generation and performance marketing collides, and we've got some really great partners joining us too. So Connor, thank you for hanging on to the bitter end. Thank you for 57 minutes of your life. It has been great finding out about what Gaming Corps is doing. And I'm really excited to see how the games develop. And we'd love to bring you back on in maybe 6 to 9 months' time and just kind of talk about some of the stats as well, because I'm pretty sure most people will go and try this and, you know, try and implement, because we're all ecking out to try and find where we can make more revenue. And this is a really, really easy segment to implement and get, you know, strategic around in your program without it having to cost you, you know, an arm and a leg to create new promotions. So thank you for sharing all of that data with us. It's been a pleasure to have you on this webinar today.
Thank you, Leanne. I appreciate it. Yeah, as Leanne said earlier, if anybody needs to contact me, feel free. But yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's been great, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you.